For the first part of this lesson, you'll begin with typing practice. As usual, you have the option of using typing games, typing lessons, or engaging in races with your friends in NitroType. You'll type for about 10 minutes. You will be timing yourself, so be sure to keep yourself on task. After you finish typing for 10 minutes, you need to complete your setting goals document. Remember that we created that setting goals document in your Google Drive in your technology classroom folder. Make sure that you have everything completed in that document. You should have a section, Things I Want to Achieve, where you brainstormed ideas. The second section is your short-term goals, things that you can complete within 6 months to a year. And the third section is your long-term goal ideas, things you hope to complete within 3 to 6 years. After we completed the goals, you needed to add somewhat of a timeline. Give yourself a date for when you hope to complete those items by. After completing your setting goals, you need to complete the SMART goal assignment. You'll notice I've put a sample assignment out there for you. Remember when we created the SMART goal assignment, it was just a template. You are creating something that is specific, something that is measurable, so something that you can actually say, yes, I did this. I did read for 20 minutes every day. Something that is attainable. Give yourself a timeline that you can definitely reach it by. Don't be unrealistic or set timelines that you cannot meet. The R stand for realistic or relevant. Make sure that it is something that is applicable to you, so you'll want to succeed at this. My goal might be about reading, but my end goal might be that I'm passing my classes so I can play basketball in the spring. And then make sure that it's timely. You're just making a statement about why you chose the date that you did. After you've completed that, go ahead and write your SMART goal in a statement format. So for my example, I'm going to read 20 minutes every day to improve my reading grade by November 1st. I can measure that on November 1st by looking at my grade. By improving my reading grade, I will be passing my classes and be eligible to play basketball in the spring. When you have finished your SMART goal and your setting goals, you need to turn both items in Google Classroom. Click on the word Open, and you'll notice your SMART goal document is there. If you have not uploaded your setting goals document, remember all you need to do is click on the word Add. We saved it in our Google Drive. Go out to your Classroom folder, your Technology 7 folder, and upload the appropriate document. After both documents are completed and uploaded, you simply need to click Turn In. When you click Turn In, it makes sure that you are ready to turn in your work. You will lose editing rights, so the teacher can grade it. After clicking Turn In, if you go into your documents, you will notice that you no longer have editing settings. It takes it just a moment to refresh. And when it does, you'll notice that your access is denied and you no longer have access to edit the document. If you reload it, you'll notice that you lose your editing tools, and it changes it to a view-only document, meaning it's in the process of being graded. The last thing you're going to do is, if you have time, you're going to explore with Google Sites. If you remember yesterday, we created a new Google site and we titled it Our First Name, Last Name, and Electronic Portfolio. You will not be using that website today. Instead, you will be creating a sandbox, which is like a playground where you can explore with Google Sites and you don't have to worry about making mistakes and messing it up. This is a sandbox or a playground environment for you to learn in. I will never be grading this website. First thing we need to talk about is getting to Google Sites. When you open another tab, go to your apps or your 9 dots and go to Sites. When you come into Sites, you will see your portfolio that we created yesterday. We'll come back to that website next week and actually start creating our educational electronic portfolio. For today, you're going to create another site. Click on Create. The name for your site is going to be your first name, space your last name, and then Sandbox. Remember, this is a title for my web page, so the first letter of each of those words should be capitalized. Then you're going to select your theme that you'd like to use. Remember, you can change this theme if you want to later on. After selecting your theme and giving your website a name, go ahead and click Create. When your sandbox is created, if you realize you made any spelling errors in the title, or if you do not like the theme that you selected, you can simply change it by going to the gear or the More Actions button in the upper right hand corner. When you click on More Actions, simply go to Manage Site. This is where you can change the site name if you made any spelling or capitalization errors. After you make any changes, make sure that you click the Save button. If you forget to and try to go to another section on this page or go off of this page, you will get an error message. If you leave the page, your changes are not saved. To go back and save the changes, simply click Stay on this page. After clicking Save, for those changes, I can edit the themes, colors, and fonts of my website. If I don't like the theme as a whole, I can go back to the base theme and I can pick something new to work with. When I find a theme that I like, if I like everything but some of the features, I can customize it. I can change the entire page background. I could select a color if I wanted to have a different colored background. I can change the site header. I can change different variables of my web page. If I save my page and go back to look at it, if it's not something that I like, I simply just need to go back into my Managing Site settings. When I go on my themes, colors, and fonts, I can clear all of the customizations and it will go back to the base theme, saving my changes and going back to the web page. If you have finished all of that and you want to work with editing, remember we talked yesterday about the pencil allows us to edit our web page. We'll be using all of these features in our electronic portfolio we're creating next week. Click on the pencil to edit the page. You'll notice you get a toolbar similar to what you see in Google Documents and Google Drawing. The first thing you want to do is decide the overall layout of your page. You can change this, however, it might shift or change the content of your web page. I'm going to choose a 2-column with a header and a footer. If I wanted to put a topic at the top of my page, I am able to change my font and the font size of it, as well as other font attributes. If you're wanting to add pictures, there are multiple ways to add pictures. The one thing you must remember is they must be school appropriate. We have not yet gone over our computer user agreement in advisory class, so you need to make sure that when you're searching for pictures that they are school appropriate. That means there is no weapons, no violence, and no inappropriate clothing. If I'm into gaming or video games, and I'm into violent video games, I cannot be putting a picture of a video game that has an assault rifle or weapons or fighting. You need to make sure that if you're looking up for musicians or people in bands, that they are dressed appropriately. That means that their bodies are covered appropriately as if they were to come into our school building. You need to make sure that if they're pictures of females, that they have appropriate clothing on, that they're not showing flesh that shouldn't be seen. If you're taking pictures of males, you need to make sure that they also have shirts on. Many times when you search for these pictures, these people are not dressed in a school environment clothing. Many times you'll find male pictures where they're showing off their muscles or tattoos. That is not acceptable for school pictures. If you are caught searching for inappropriate pictures, you will lose the privilege of using pictures, and for the rest of the semester, you will be given pictures for your web pages. For today, we're going to go over just one way to insert images. You click on the word Insert and choose Image. I'm going to go out to the internet and search for a picture to put on my website. After searching in Google, being very careful with the words that I put into my search engine, I'm going to Images and find a picture that I want to upload. If I wanted to take the Godwin Wolverine logo, I'm going to select the logo first, and I'm going to show you how to upload it using the image's URL or the web address. I'm going to right-click on the picture, and I'm going to save or I'm going to copy the image URL. When you copy the image's URL, I'm going to then come back to my website and I'm going to tell it that I have a web address or a URL. I'm going to right click and paste or use Control V and the image should appear. If I want to add text to go underneath it or something different, then I can edit it here. Otherwise, when I click OK, it uploads the picture to my web page. If I don't like the size of the picture or the positioning, all I have to do is click on the picture and I get some options. I can see if a different size will fit better within the box. I can center align it, right align it, or left align it. Once I've decided how I want my picture to look, I simply click off of it. If you'd like to add text above it or below it, put your flashing cursor where you want it to be, press the Enter key, and it will give me a line above it. If you want to put text below it, put your cursor behind the image and press the Enter key, and you can enter text down there. The second thing we're going to go over is how to upload Google Drawings. We did explore and play around with Google Drawing. To do this, I'm going to click on Insert. Our Google Drawings are saved out in our Google Drive. So I'm going to come over to the Google section, select Drive, and then Drawing. It will automatically go out and look for any drawings that I've created. When I select the drawing that I want, it's going to ask me if I want to change the size, the title, or any other information on it. When I click Save, you'll notice that my drawing does not appear. It has simply just put a holding place out there. But you'll notice when I save my web page changes that my Google drawing will appear. If I don't like the way that it looks, I can go back into editing my web page. I can click on the picture and I can change a few settings about it. These are the properties, and this would be my alignment as well as my text around it. If that picture was a little bit too large, I can change the dimensions of what I'd like it to be. I can tell it that I don't want the border or that I don't want the title. And then when I save the changes, I will see what it's going to look like on my page. It takes saving the web page to actually be able to see the Google drawing. That's the end of the lesson for today. Explore and play around with Google Sites after you have submitted your Google SMART goals and your setting goals page. I'll see you guys tomorrow.